to take a look at what exactly went down during the tragic stampede. Here are a few images that we have collected to help us understand how in the span of a few minutes the stampede led to the loss of many lives. My colleague Asavri Jindal is joining us to take us through the details.
We've been examining the visuals that we've received from the location where the stampede took place. Here are some visuals that we've encapsulated from when the stampede happened. We can see over here an individual who stood on a pole at a time when there was, of course, overcrowding taking place. Here we can, of course, see devotees being crushed. There's absolutely no space on the staircase from which, of course, devotees were heading up to the temple itself. Here is another visual that we have been tracking very closely. The woman that you see over here, she can be seen almost being thrown off the staircase at a time when, of course, overcrowding was taking place. So here's a visual of that. Third visual that we've tracked to understand what exactly went down, you can see the woman over here. She's there in a 90-degree angle, presumably her body, half her body being crushed by all the people who are surrounding her. And in the visual that we were tracking, she was seen panting. It took a lot of time to, in fact, take her out from the huge crowds over there. Another visual that we've been tracking very closely is this one, where, of course, there were a lot of people over there on the ground, and to make a little bit of space, people were also seen throwing their belongings left, right, and center. As you can see, many people were carrying baskets. This woman in particular was carrying, of course, a bag over here, and even across, if you see, people were carrying baskets, assumably, of course, to take goods upstairs to the temple. People take flowers. Maybe that was what was kept in it, but with, of course, little to no room to even breathe. There were people seen struggling, throwing bags left, right, and center. Here's another visual that we have of when the stampede took place. As we can see, people are quite literally mounting on top of each other. Another visual, as you can see over here, is of people and how they were pushed off the staircase. Like I said, this was the staircase that we are referring to, and over here we can see, of course, people, one lady over here and one very old senior citizen over here being pushed off the staircase, and an individual, of course, now taking care of him. Another visual that we are tracking, and this one is very, very shocking for us to see. There were many people during the stampede who sort of dove head first to get out of the situation, to get out of the overcrowding that was there on the staircase. Another visual that we are tracking, these three women in particular were on the corner of the staircase, and as you can see, they're quite literally holding on to their lives towards the staircase, assuming that they were not even able to breathe properly, and of course carrying their baskets as they were going to the temples to seek blessings, as it was a day of a ritual. Another visual that we're tracking, and another one that's extremely shocking to us, is of this old lady who, like we can see in this visual, was on the corner of the staircase, and she can be seen being almost pushed off the staircase, as of course we can see many other people over here struggling, and a man over here trying to help her not fall off. But like you can see, a narrow end of the staircase, we can of course not also see a railing over here, which is another reason why people were being pushed off. But in this visual we can't see a railing, and therefore this woman being pushed off as the crowd multiplied. And the last visual over here, it's very painful to see these visuals, but another visual over here of a woman shouting for help, and we can see, of course, many other women being crushed on top of each other. So again, Shivani, it's a very unfortunate incident that has taken place at this temple in Andhra Pradesh. We've tracked some visuals to examine what went down and how the multiple casualties that have been reported took place. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Asavri, for all those details on that input. However, really heart-wrenching visuals over there. We saw how people have actually been crushed under each other. Mr. Venkat Narayan, we are seeing those visuals on our screens. My colleague just narrated the entire incident, how it actually unfolded. People were seen climbing on top of each other, pushing someone off. We saw an old lady actually falling down from that narrow staircase. And we also saw a lot of baskets in question, people taking their belongings inside this narrow space. Do you think there should now also be measures in place that such things should not be carried inside, even if they are offerings, they can be small, or the temple authorities should maintain how to do this or streamline this entire process?
Yeah, I think they should do that. They should not be allowed to be carrying these things. In places like Tirupati, they have, you provide space to keep your shoes, provide space to keep your belongings, and you go alone without anything. And, they don't even allow children, in age less than 10 years or whatever. I want to share with our viewers something about Lord Venkateshwara. He is the most famous god, if I may say so, in India. There are 500 Venkateshwara temples across India and the world, wherever, the 3 crore Indians live abroad, including a dozen in the United States. The reason why Lord Venkateshwara is popular is that the pilgrims or the devotees believe that you seek a boon from Lord Venkateshwara, and if you get your boon, then you offer your hair or give a lot of money and all that. That's why you see the hundi in Tirupati is full of crores of rupees every day, and that makes the Venkateshwara temple, also known as Balaji in other parts of India, the richest temple in the entire world. It's richer than the Vatican and Mecca. That will give you some idea. So on a day like this, I'm sure people, Hindus from all over the world, even other communities, be it Muslims or Christians or whatever, they gather in huge numbers. So which is why, it's very, very important that adequate precautions should be taken to ensure that such stampedes do not occur in future in our country.
Absolutely, sir. I think one needs to remember that a lot of questions are being raised about the management over there of the temple, how such crowds actually even manage to enter that temple. 25,000 numbers is a preliminary estimate that is coming to the fore, and that was a new temple. If the permissions were sought or not, we had a guest earlier on the show saying that it was a privately managed temple. So we do not know if there were adequate measures in place in order to make sure that such incidents do not happen. Also, in the latest visuals, we can see the sheer strength of the crowd that actually gathered at the Sri Venkateshwara temple in Andhra Pradesh's Srikakulam. The temple crowd can be seen pushing and shoving each other in a small space, pointing to the eventual crush of bodies at the temple. I want to go across to my colleague Raj. Raj, if you're still with us on the broadcast, we are getting to know slowly details of this entire incident. We are trying to build a narrative of actually what happened through those visuals that are coming to the fore. We can see people crushing each other, climbing on top of each other, shoving them, and that's what eventually led to that staircase, that narrow staircase actually collapsing, and then people actually falling on top of each other.
Yes, exactly. When we speak about how the incident took place, we are clearly seen in the visuals that how crowd are very eager to go front side. So actually, the management have prepared, all the preparations have been made for only 4,000 to 5,000 devotees who are expected there. But whereas here we have seen more than 10,000, 20,000 devotees have reached there, and the public and the monitor teams has been totally collapsed there, and the barricades which was kept at the front lines to maintain the queue has been totally removed by the crowd, and they were trying to go in front, and people, we can clearly see in the visuals that how the devotees are climbing on each other and wanted to go inside the temple as early as possible and do the darshan. So this is what where the incident exactly situation has created here. And the temple, as when we talk about the temple, and this temple was built Venkateshwara Swami temple, it is also known as Kashi Durga temple, which was built in just 1 year back. And it was built by a single person, a devotee named. The temple was built in a 5 acres of land, and devotees named Panda built this temple. And this temple cost around 10 crores rupees, and a single devotee has built this temple. Now the authorities, we have to see the management, how the management has reacted here after that. How the precautions has been taken. All this inquiry is going on. A committee has been set up by the government. Now the inquiry will come to know, does the management has prepared, all the preparations were made well, or else how much crowd were expected. And as this is a new temple, people have, how this advertisement has been done, that on the occasion of Ekadashi you have to visit to this particular temple. Now how the advertisement has been done, all this in different aspects, the inquiry will be going on. After the detailed inquiry, we'll come to know what exactly why the stampede has took place. The authorities have taken all the measures to maintain the crowd and all.
Stay on with us. I am also joined by NV Subhash, BJP spokesperson. Thank you, sir, for joining us. A very tragic incident coming to light. We are getting to know from preliminary reports that overcrowding, mismanagement at the temple actually caused this tragic incident.
Yeah, it's very, very heartburning to see on this auspicious day. Today it happens to be the Ekadashi, which is the Kartika Masam, which is very just auspicious for Lord Shiva. So, and today being the Saturday also, many people from in and around Srikakulam district, they have, they wanted to visit and then have a first glimpse on that. But unfortunately, the authorities even did not even anticipate such kind of a huge crowd. And 10 people have died, and we extend our condolences to the bereaved families. And then we also appeal to, Chandrababu government that this kind of things should not happen in future, because in the upcoming days also there is, the New Year celebrations will be there, and Sankranti celebrations, Pongal celebrations, all these things. And they should have some kind of, the mechanism to control the crowd also. And, the Telangana BJP also extends their the condolences, and Narendra Modi ji also expressed, his condolences, and then he has actually sanctioned some, ex gratia. And we feel very sorry about that, because on auspicious day, and then to have a first glimpse of Lord Shiva, and this kind of tragic incidents happens, it's very, very heartburning, and what can we say about it?
Mr. Subhash, you are also learning of some new lapses that have currently come to the fore through preliminary reports, allegedly that there was no permission taken for such a large crowd gathering. We expected a lot of people to actually visit the temple because it was an auspicious occasion of Ekadashi. So that's the first lapse that has come to the fore.
I know, but this is not the right time to make the politics on that. But people from different parts of life also, they come on that, and no one can really anticipate that how many people will come on that. And authorities are also, I believe it's a very new temple which has been built recently. Not only that, they don't have enough manpower also to control on that. And by the time they have improved, they have informed the police and the fire safety authorities also. This tragic incident has happened, and we also appeal to all the governments, whether it is Bharatiya Janata Party government or any other government, to make elaborate just arrangements, and then see that the devotees will not be suffering, and this kind of incident should not happen in future also. And people also should also, make sure that whether it is possible to have the darshan also, because when we see in the visuals what you are sending, there is such a huge crowd. It's impossible to control on that. And the devotees, even the authorities and the police also are unable to manage on that. And it's sentiments attached on that. We feel very sorry about it, and we again appeal to both the governments that this kind of incident should not happen, that they should anticipate the future course of action, and the rescue operation should be done immediately so that at least some people lives can be saved.
Absolutely. So we also saw some ministers over there. We had a former minister giving CPR